dear friends, welcome to my healthy kitchen. Finally, I'm coming back to YouTube with one of the most amazing cake, and this is cake for the 7th month birthday of my son. This amazing chocolate charcoal powder colored cake with orange cream will be the first cake after the long pause on my channel. The cake is super easy to make, and like all my cakes, it is fully plant-based, gluten-free, soy-free, corn-free, and of course refined sugar-free. Everything is colored by nature. So as I told you right now, these chocolate sponges are colored with charcoal coconut powder, so black is very natural. And this yellow-orange cream is colored with the turmeric. Everything is super good, 100% natural, wholesome and delicious, and inside is a very delicious jam as well. So I'm very excited to show you the recipe of this cake, and I hope you will love it. Let's get started. So let's start making our very simple but very delicious cake. Of course, we're going to start with our baked sponge, and this is exact recipe of very chocolate sponge that I already have on my channel. You can see this truffle cake here. I will show you just some adjustments that I'm going to do into this recipe. Before we start talking about ingredients, we need to preheat our oven up to 350 Fahrenheit. I will be using regular baked option, so not conventional, because a lot of girls asked me to use regular option. Now we start talking about ingredients. Our cake will be gluten-free, like all cakes on my channel, and for this recipe I'm going to use a gluten-free blend. In United States I would recommend to use this one. It's Bob's Red Mill 1:1 baking flour, and in any other country I'm sure you have a lot of options for 1:1 substitution for white flour, so use that blend and it would be perfect. Also, if such happen that you want to make the recipe with exact flours, I have another recipe. It's not so maybe chocolate, it's delicious, but it's like milled chocolate flavor. It has quinoa flour. You can find the recipe here. You can use that recipe to make chocolate sponges, but I'm going to make it like very deep chocolate cake with a hint of oranges. So this baking flour that I'm going to use, also we're going to add a little bit of almond flour. Instead of almond flour, you can use any other nut flour or corn flour. We're going to add a little bit of any plant-based milk. I'm going to use oat milk, and to get a color, black color, I will be using natural colorant, coconut activated charcoal powder, and this is that difference compared with the recipe of truffle cake that I'm going to use in this cake, for this cake. So we start to talk about our all ingredients in more details. So here you are, I have my gluten-free blend. We need to sift everything. Also, I'm adding baking powder, baking soda here, and starting to adding our cacao powder. I highly recommend to use high quality, non-processed raw cacao powder. It gives amazing flavor, it's healthy, it's like whole food compared with alkalized cacao powder. And of course you will have my recommendations in the file that I suggest you to download. Perfect. If you have a very fine salt, you can add it and sift. Also, I have quite big granules, so I just put it inside. Perfect. I'm adding my charcoal powder. I also want to sift it. Great. Now we can add our nut flour. And we're going to add our coconut sugar. Our wet ingredients. I'm going to use plant-based milk, as I told you. Here I will be using coconut oil. It's a very healthy option for baking. It has quite high melting point, and it doesn't create like trans fats, and it's super good for our bodies. Also, you can use coconut oil instead of avocado oil in this recipe. A little bit of vanilla, pure vanilla extract, a freshly squeezed lemon juice, and melted cacao butter. So that cacao butter that we put when we make chocolate. So exactly this ingredient will give us like this structure, the texture, and the flavor of this very chocolate cake. You can substitute it to coconut oil, but it will be more coconutty, more less chocolate cake, but it's possible. So I highly recommend you to use cacao butter. It is melted. I have a separate video on my channel how to work with cacao butter, so I hope you will watch, then you will see how I melt it. But I'm melting just using a double boiler. Now we need to combine all our wet ingredients. So I'm starting with the plant-based milk, lemon juice, vanilla extract, adding our oil, adding cacao butter, and let's make a one emulsion. Great. Now let's work with our mixer. It can be hand mixer or stand mixer, it doesn't matter. And let's add our wet ingredients step by step. So here you are, here's our chocolate butter. We can check from the bottom that we don't have any like flour. Okay, we're going to make our cake into 7 inches mold. So I'm going to use 2 molds. It's adjustable mold. I prepare it. I put a parchment circle and parchment walls here, and this is my ring. It's not so tall, and that's why I just made a little bit taller using a parchment paper. I wiped everything with avocado oil, and now everything is ready to go to my oven. Right now I want to divide my butter between these molds. For this I need kitchen scale. So here you are, I pour about 600 grams into each mold, and now we go to our oven for minimum 40 minutes. Now let's make our orange jam. So I'm going to use fresh oranges, 1 lemon. So you need 3 medium-sized oranges, and the type of oranges, it doesn't matter. 1 medium lemon, maple syrup. So I put here my maple, and I would highly suggest you to use maple in this recipe. Do not substitute it to agave or brown rice syrup, because maple syrup, when we boil it, and we're going to do it, it will make our jam even more thicker, and this is important for our texture, because in our jam we are not going to use any agar, We will not be using chia seeds, pectin or something else to make it more thick. So just all natural ingredients, they have enough pectin inside to make a great consistency that we want to achieve for our cake. So here you are my maple syrup, and I put it here for you. Freshly squeezed orange juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice, and spices, it's Ceylon cinnamon. Pinch of salt, I use usually pink Himalayan salt, and about our pan, saucepan, it's better if you find it quite tall, because we're going to shimmer it for about like 40-50 minutes. So that's why I prefer to use something like taller. What we do next? Now we need to cut our oranges, they are washed of course, into small sizes. So here we are, we have a lot of fruits. We pour here our freshly squeezed orange juice. We add our lemon juice and of course sweetener to reduce an extremely tart flavor. We can mix it a little bit, and now we need to boil it. So let's wait until it becomes boiling. While we are simmering this jam, we have time to make our yellow-orange cream. For this we need our high-speed blender, as I told you, and the process will be super easy and fast. So first we need to put all our cashews. Perfect. Our fresh orange juice, sweetener, a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of salt. 3 such ingredients like cacao butter, coconut oil and coconut butter I'm going to add at the end of the process once I receive completely smooth texture of my cream. If you don't see the swirl on top of your cream, you need to open the blade and give your blender to breathe. And continue. So you can see that we don't see any nuts, so consistency is quite smooth. Now I'm going to add coconut oil and cacao butter, but coconut butter not yet. Perfect, we have beautiful texture, and now we want to color it. So we need to achieve a yellow color, and I will be using a turmeric. So we start adding from 1 teaspoon and see the result. So here you are, I put 1 teaspoon. So coconut butter is still here. As you saw, I added coconut butter, my blender got stuck, I stopped it, it started breathing, and now I can continue. We finished, so here's our beautiful yellow-orange cream. Regarding the coconut butter, we added at the end because a lot of blenders can get stuck when we add coconut butter. So that's why if you can't blend your coconut butter, you can use it with a spatula. Before continue, I want to check my sponges. Not yet. So let me put about like 7 minutes more. And in total it will be 55 minutes. We put it in the refrigerator until tomorrow. Tomorrow we will decorate it. So here you are, these are our sponges. I always remove them from the pan to be sure that they do not continue to bake from the bottom. Carefully we can take out our rings. Here you are, the first one. Now I put my sponges to rest for about 30 minutes, and in 30 minutes I will cover it with the plastic wrap. Even though they can be still warm, no worries, just cover them, put in the refrigerator until tomorrow when we will be decorating our cake. So let's see, we have a halfway of our jam, and it is boiling like here. So here you are, this is our jam. This is consistency that we need to achieve, and in total I left my jam on the stove for about 60 minutes. And now we need to put everything into the blender, high-speed blender, and we want to make a one consistency. So let's do it. Okay, let's see. So it's just like a jam with orange puree. Let's find any glass jar and put everything into the jar. And these jars I leave on the counter until they become not so hot, and then we move it to refrigerator. So tomorrow when we will be assembling our cake, we need to grab our jam directly from refrigerator. So we finished everything for today. We have everything to make the cake tomorrow, to assemble the cake tomorrow. We made 2 black chocolate sponges. We have 4 piping bags of our orange cream, and we have our orange jam. And tomorrow we will make a cake.